Hello everyone. So I'm back again with my next question of question based learning series. Hope you're enjoying the solutions, the answers of all the questions which I have posted so far. If so, please subscribe to my channel. My channel name is DUK. Do you know? Okay, so let's get started with the next question. The question of day 17 is how to change the storage tier of all objects inside the S3 bucket in single operation. So before I show you how we can perform this activity, let us understand what are different storage tiers available with S3 service. So, and why do we have to change? Why do we have to transition the storage tier? Basically, S3 is an object-based storage service. We can store archives for long. We can keep the data for long-term archive. We can keep snapshots. S3 we use to keep the backup. S3 is also used in data lake. It is used in machine learning environment. So there are multiple use cases are there with S3, and every file we upload in S3 we call it as an object. So we can have millions of objects, we can keep it in S3 bucket. Now the thing is that how frequently you are accessing the objects. How critical is your object and how frequently you are accessing. Accordingly, you can decide on the storage tier. For example, let's say you are accessing the data every day. Okay, it's and we call such type of data as a hot data, the one that we use it every day. So the best storage tier is S3 standard for that, because it gives you immediate access to the data. There is no retrieval time involved. So the data is basically divided into different types based on how frequently you are accessing it. So we have hot data, warm data, cold data, and coldest data. Hot is the one that you use it frequently. Okay, so therefore that we have S3 standard as the storage tier. Then warm data is the one that you are using it intermittently once in few days. So the best storage tier is S3 standard infrequent access or one zone infrequent access. Next is cold data, the one that you use it once in a few months. For that we have glacier. And then the one that we use it in multiple months, let's say 6 months, 8 months. For such type of data we have, we call it as coldest data, and for such type of data we have got glacier deep archive. Now, what is the advantage? Why can't I keep all my data in S3 standard? I can do that. But the thing is that, see, apart from the accessibility, apart from the durability of the data, I also think of the cost. S3 standard has got higher cost compared to Glacier Deep Archive. So S3 standard higher cost. Then the next comes in the sequence is infrequent access. After that we have Glacier instant retrieval, Glacier flexible retrieval is there, and then finally we have Deep Archive. So the S3 standard has got highest cost, and the Glacier Deep Archive is the lowest one. So the transitioning the data from one storage tier to another storage tier based on how frequent you are accessing it, that always makes it cost effective. Okay, and you know S3 supports 11 nines of durability. So now if you want to transition all the objects in one single operation, you can use life cycle rules. There is a feature supported by S3, life cycle rules. So you can configure that, and whatever data, whatever objects are there in S3, all will get S3 bucket, all will get transition from one type to another type in a single operation. So let me take you to the console quickly and show you how we perform this activity. So I'm going to console. Yeah, I've shared my screen. I'll go to S3 bucket, S3 service, and my S3 bucket. So now as I go to general purpose bucket, I'm selecting this bucket which has got few folders and few objects. And now I would want to transition. Like first I would want to check what is the current storage tier. So if I select this file, now I will be able to make out looking at the properties of the. So here the storage class is, you can see, standard. So this it is highlighting for one object. If I want to change the storage class of this object, I can click on edit, and the one that I have highlighted, the different types are highlighted here. So standard is there, standard infrequent access is there, glacier is there, glacier deep archive, and others are also there. Okay, intelligent tiering is there. So intelligent tiering basically monitor your objects, and it automatically transition from one type to another type. You don't have to do it manually. So for that we use that. So now here if you want, you can just change and then you can save it. So this you do it for one single object. But what if you have millions of objects, thousands and millions or lakhs of objects are there, and you would want to do it for all the objects at once? You can just opt for life cycle group. So as I go to on the bucket level, I have an option management. Now here lifecycle configuration is there. I'll go ahead and create lifecycle rule, provide name. Now you can define the rule scope, limit the scope of this rule using one or more filters. So do I want to apply this rule for all the objects inside the bucket, or I would want to restrict it to certain folder? If I want to restrict to certain folder, I'll go with first option, and here against prefix I'll provide the folder name. Let's say my folder name is XYZ, and after that I'll give a forward slash. Okay. If I want to apply for the whole bucket, I'll go with the second option. Let's say I would want to apply for the whole bucket. I go ahead with acknowledge. Next is lifecycle rule action. Now transition current version of objects. So do you want to transition current version? Only current version, select this. Do you want to transition current version also and the previous version of the object also? If the versioning is enabled, you can select this option. You can also set the expiration. So you have the expiration option available. You can set the expiration period for your object, and once it is set, once the period is expired, let's say 30 days of expiration I have set, after 30 days my object will be automatically deleted. Or you can permanently delete the previous version, delete expired object. So these are the additional options. Now what I would want, let's say I would want to just do for the current version, I select that. Then I go down, and here I can choose from the standard class to which other class I would want to storage tier class I would want to transition. So here all are highlighted. Let's say I would want to transition to from standard to one zone IA after I need to specify, let's say I'm setting after 40 days. Okay, so after 40 days, it will transition automatically from standard to one zone IA for all the objects. Now, I would want to add one more rule. So, I'll just go with add transition, and let's say I want it should transition from one zone IA to glacier deep archive. Okay, after 100 days. So what it is going to do? Two rules I have defined. First, it will transition from standard to one zone IA after 40 days, and then after 100 days, it will transition to deep archive. Now this duration is days after object creation. Days after object creation means my object is created today. So from now, from today, after 40 days, it will get transition automatically to IA, one zone IA, and then from today, after 40 days, sorry, after 100 days, okay, it will get transitioned to deep archive. So this is how you set the duration, and then you can, so you can see it is highlighted here. Object uploaded, day 40 and day 100, how it is transitioning, and then you can go ahead and save it. So this is how you define the life cycle rule, and this will be applicable for the either for the entire bucket or for certain folder inside a bucket. You can limit to certain folder. Okay, so it completely depends on how frequently you are using your objects inside the bucket, and accordingly to optimize the cost, this rule is very useful, life cycle rule for optimizing. Else you can just put everything in ST standard. There is no, it's not mandatory that you should transition. But yeah, definitely over a period of time, as we start using it, as we heavily load our buckets with millions of objects, definitely we look for some cost optimization technique, right? Cost optimization option. So this helps in optimizing the cost. Hope you found this information useful. So if you want more such content, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned until my next question. Keep learning.